And good morning, everybody. It is Wonderful Wednesday with Janice Shayne. Now, Janice, I love that you're on here because we first met each other at HypnoThoughts Live on the Monday afterwards, because it's like 700 people there, okay? Yeah. And we met and we just started chatting away. I think it was around breakfast time or something, but we were just got chatting away. And I think it was about an hour we were talking, weren't we?
Yeah.
And we've been friends ever since.
It's true. It's true.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And this is what conferences are about. However, Janice, for our audience, tell us what got you into hypnosis, hypnotherapy?
Well, it's actually going to be 30 years ago today, not today, this year. And I was in a PhD program for psychology. Mm-hmm. And the chair of my department owned a state licensed hypnotherapy school in Arizona, where I was. Okay. And she's like, you would be very good at hypnosis. Oh. And I was like, I would. And now I'm like, I think you're right.
I love that. I love
how her voice just went right into it,
Yes, you. And the leaning in towards it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love that. I took it then and started practicing, and it became so obvious that with all of the education I was getting in psychology, that this cut through all of it.
Yeah.
As far as people taking months and years to heal, mm-hmm. which I'm finding I can do in 3 sessions.
Yeah.
And then we can get on to the process of what we call generative, in giving people new tools and skills to live life in a way that they're thriving and not just getting by.
Yeah, or even just surviving.
Exactly.
Because it is exactly that. It's the thriving bit. And I agree with you, because life is going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not about, quick, give me some SRIs to cope with this right now. No, we give you tools and techniques and strategies, because I see you've got NLP on there as well. Yeah. It's like, yes, you can do this yourself. You can do life. You can do the difficult bits yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
So I love that. And that's exactly what we do. So,
and then I went, I had a practice for a number of years, and then family duty called, and I started to run the family business, which was in nutrition, and then started working in corporate settings, and just found that this really served me in every setting in my life, not just with patients, but with clients of different types, talking with other doctors, other kinds of doctors, about how they can just change the way they talk with their patient to draw them in and have them listen on a different level. Yeah. So it's been really a wonderful tool to be able to even just mentor other people on how to do whatever they do better.
I couldn't agree more. And I totally agree with you on that. And it's so funny, isn't it? Because people are like, "Ooh, hypnosis. Oh, you're going to do something weird to me." I mean, yeah. I've even had, when I've told people I'm a hypnotist, they've gone like this to me.
Yes. I've had close friends. We were actually traveling in Ireland on vacation. And I said, I'm in hypnosis. They knew I was in nutrition. And so I'm like, if you guys want to try while we're here, and they're like, no. And I was just like, why? It's so wonderful.
It is, and it really is. And it's interesting because we've just recently had a load of family and friends here. And because I've branched out into stage hypnosis, I actually said, because I had 15 people here, I said, shall I do how about if I do a stage hypnosis show for everybody? And okay. And they couldn't believe it, because I had 5 of them up there in deep hypnosis.
That's great.
And they were doing all this crazy stuff. And then afterwards, and every single one of them slept well that night, because I said they would. And they were all like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That just happened. And then it became I mean, and one of them was just like so excited. He was the star of the show because he hadn't even gone up at the beginning. He went up in the middle because I do this other thing with their
Right.
hands up, after I've got volunteers, and he was up, and it was he just couldn't stop talking about it.
Right.
And he said, "Will you help me with my golf?" And I went, "Yes." And he goes, and I said, "And you know I will." And he went, "Yeah."
I was like, "Oh, you will."
Now. And
days.
yeah, there you go. Because it's that belief.
Yeah.
And you have to show it sometimes and give people the wow factor of what we can actually do. But it's them themselves. Some people are more for stage. They're more, if you like, they have to be a somnambulist really to be able to go that quickly, that deeply, because otherwise it can be a build up of it and the rapport. And of course, their family and friends, they know me.
Yeah.
But that in itself could have made it not work.
Yeah, I'm very impressed actually with family and friends. And it's true. I find that I tell people before they come, I have them fill out forms, and I tell them before they come, I'm going to spend the first session talking with you about what I do, what hypnosis is, what you think it is, and giving you the experience of hypnosis. And then I assure them without doing anything, just giving you the experience of what it feels like. And if you'd like, I can add some positive suggestions that you'll sleep well tonight. Because a lot of people come for trauma and they come for anxiety and, all kinds of things like that, abuse. And so they're like, really, you can do that? I'm like, sure, so I just spend the first session just giving them an induction into trance, allowing them to find a place that's where they feel safe and they feel content or calm or happy, that kind of thing. And then just saying, like making contact with their unconscious mind and all this stuff I tell them beforehand, and then bring them out. And they're every single time huge smiles.
Yeah, absolutely. They go, oh, like, it's amazing, isn't it?
That's amazing. Yeah. And where I live in Colorado, there's a lot of meditators, and they go, is this like meditation? I'm like, well, you tell me, and they always go, no, this is not like meditation.
Yeah. It's better.
It is. It's different. I mean, they can just completely relax.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be at a deeper level. So it's I love that. And tell us some of your success stories, Janice.
Well, it's interesting because when I exited the family practice and came back in, people were saying, well, what do you center around? I'm like, well, I have a background in Jungian analysis, and I do a lot of work with dreams and like emotional intelligence, but we didn't call it that, it was just Jungian. And I'm not a Jungian analyst, but I understand the methodology. So I started there, and then I would start working with people's revivification of their dreams because, doing dream analysis. So I found that a lot of times, as far as success stories, that I can bring them back into hypnosis and they can go back into a dream where they can actually, almost like a lucid dream, but navigate it for a therapeutic purpose and find out what the dream is trying to say.
Yeah.
And so I love that. That's really great work. And it's unique. Not a lot of people do it. And I just combine skill sets, to get there. And because every once in a while you'll have a client that'll just come in and say, you wouldn't believe the dream I had. I go, really? Let's go into it, because it's your unconscious.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. There are some that are just more profound than others, aren't there?
Yes. Yeah.
And the ones that you remember.
Right. I said, the whole thing of hypnosis is getting past that gatekeeper of the conscious mind and getting the unconscious to trust us enough to talk with us. And here you're having a dream where it's bringing it to you. So every time I start working with someone, their dreams become very vivid. And I think it's because the unconscious knows that we're working together as a team, right? And I honor and respect the unconscious. So some of the a really wonderful one I had a client who was in treatment for addiction and gone to retreat centers, had a breakdown and had to sell off a company that wasn't, they weren't happy about it, So it was this whole trauma and this whole feeling of losing everything they had built over 20 years and just kind of being in a place where they felt they had no value anymore and everything was impacted. And so as we went into our work, we were able to take her back in hypnosis, and that whole breakdown that she had, that they had just completely, just where they felt they lost everything, we were able to release all that trauma.
Wow.
And it was in one session.
Yeah.
And they had been in treatment for almost a year trying to get past this blockage.
Yeah.
And because of the trauma, they couldn't get past the addiction because they didn't get to the root of it.
That's right.
It was all about trying to modify behavior and to work on motivations and things of that nature. But what was being ignored or what they really weren't capable of getting to, was what caused it in the first place.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it keeps people stuck. And they can have all this stuff that they know they should be doing and know this. And you and I, we've seen this multiple times where we get somebody who's been in therapy for even up to 30 years, sometimes longer. They've seen psychiatrists, they've seen psychologists. Yes, they've done a great job, but the person is still the same. They're still stuck. They're still
Yeah. And it really changed the way I looked at psychotherapy completely. Being a psychotherapist also. Yeah. I just realized that I'm not serving anyone by dragging this out, and I find that it's more effective than a lot of the other therapies that are similar, and we were just chatting earlier about, it started when I started in the 90s. It was like, inner child work. And then it became parts work. And then it became internal family systems. And, and they're all have a little bit different. And then it's somatic work. And then it's EMDR. And all of it is within hypnosis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And ego states, is what, when I was training, and that's,
Just which one do you want to call it?
Right.
So we were just saying, and same with the whole thing of niching or niching, you say in America. It's like, you can niche or niche in an area. However, we see people.
Right.
And they will come with an issue.
Yeah.
And then you realize that's not the thing. It's that thing or that thing. The issue.
Yeah. Well, like with this person that came and that had this breakdown, that wasn't the initial, what we would call the sensitizing event, the
initial sensitizing event. Yeah.
So we went past that all the way back to childhood and found where it's the feelings started that created the insecurity, that created the breakdown, that created losing a company and all this kind of stuff, And
that's exactly it. It's the feeling.
Yeah.
And sometimes there isn't a word or a timeline, or even for that, it's just the feeling and it is stuck in the body. And that actually, Janice, is why I do the bunny talk process.
Yeah.
In the body. And it's only when we get it out on the body, or when we draw around it, that they go, what is that feel? Oh, I know it's there. And sometimes it can be in the fingertips, sometimes it's in the arms, sometimes it is in the heart, but sometimes for some reason it's in the knee.
Yes.
They know where it is.
Yeah.
And it could be from when somebody was pressing on their knee. I had somebody, they couldn't stand somebody holding their wrist. And we found out it was because when his father had passed away at the and he was only little, but at the cemetery, his mum was holding his wrist the whole time, and she anchored all of that into his wrist.
Yeah.
And he especially couldn't stand his mother touching his wrist.
Oh my gosh.
And we were able to do that, sort that out, because and then it was because it was like, why is it in the wrist?
Yeah. And it's amazing that it just goes right into the unconscious, because we're trying to deal with, you know, our surroundings on a daily basis, and it's just filed back there, but it is not gone.
No.
And so just releasing that is such a gift.
Yeah.
It's the place to start.
He went home, saw his mum, and he said, just see what happens. Literally, he would have literal massive meltdowns.
Yeah.
And he was fine. She went, what has just happened?
Yeah.
And it was like, I know.
Yeah.
Started because I said, I'm going to what's it like me touching it? And he goes, it's fine. I said, no, the test will be when you go see mum.
Yeah. It's just amazing. Yeah. I love it. Right. And I, you know, done a lot of sexual assault work, not just with women.
Okay. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. And it's really amazing how much the body wants to get it out, wants to get rid of it. And I love the techniques, speaking from being trained 30 years ago and then going through trainings, you know, more recently too, how it's changed that when you have people, for example, with PTSD, that they used to have to relive it. And now we don't, because we do it all below the level of conscious awareness until we get all of that trauma out. Yeah. And so it's, people are worried, you know, they like, well, I want to get rid of this, but I don't want to go through that again. And you don't have to now, you know.
Don't need to hear the story.
Yeah. But you get to keep the memory as much as it's important. Yeah. For learning. And it's part of your life, you know. We're not,
it's not
gaps, you know.
Yeah. We don't.
You know, I mean, people think, am I going to lose that time in my life? No, not at all. You know, but these are things people worry about.
Yeah, I say it's like, so say we have, you know, because a lot of the feeling, we can feel it in our throat, you know, it's like a big frog in your throat. And I say, I'm not magic, but I can change that frog back into a tadpole or frog spawn.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I always say, remember when you were a kid, you were learning how to ride a bike and you fell off and you scraped your knees or your hands or whatever. I said, well, when you have that memory now, do you feel your knees scraped or no, it's just a memory now. That's what we're going to do for you.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
We're going to take it away from all of the crying and the pain and the throbbing of the, you know, and it's just going to be a memory because you learned how to ride a bike from there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, I agree. It's about becoming indifferent or ambivalent towards that thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like,
so integrating it as part of what our life was. That's our story. We're better for it now.
Yeah, exactly. And we all have stuff.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
It is okay. It's important. Yeah. It's important because we're all contributing to, you know, the entire world as far as our life experience and connecting and things like that.
I know. It's wonderful. Yeah. I love what we do. I'm so passionate about it. I can't get enough of it, to be honest.
True.
And, you know, and I love that I get to share it as well. So everything that I've learned over the years. So Janice, how would somebody get in contact with you on your website?
Well, they can call me. They can email or text. Text actually works really great because I usually get back to people within a couple hours.
Okay, great. All right, I'll get your phone number and I'll pop it in the show notes. And so if anybody wants to work with you, because people have their people, you know, it's who they resonate with. And because, you know, people say, oh, why have you always got hypnotists on your show? And I go, because there's so many people with issues and, you know, it's like we're not in competition and, you know, we all see, you know, people gravitate towards their person and that's okay too.
Well, and then I should mention that I work with adult adoptees.
Okay.
I don't think that's something that you know about,
no,
but
I know that. Yeah.
I have a support group. And I work with them as private clients too, because there's that pre-verbal wound, you know, sometimes being separated at birth, or being put in foster care, or, and even if you have a good adoption experience, there are sometimes, there's just trauma there that is pre-verbal.
Yeah, I agree. And it does make a difference. My mother was adopted, and that you just can tell there's some kind of there's some stuff goes on.
Yeah. And I'm an adoptee too, so I resonate with it. So
yeah, and I think that's where you can really understand it. So I think that's really important to mention. Thanks, Janice. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, no, I've loved having you on here, and you know that you and I can literally rabbit on forever.
Yes.
So thanks a lot, and
thank you for having me.
Of course, and everybody, thank you for watching. So it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard, and it's goodbye from Janice. So take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.